Yeah.
Welcome back to JMC Live. I am your host, Jeremy Caverley, and I want to tell you guys that it's been a wonderful time, talking about XPAC. We're having a great night. We still have K-Bird on the line. You got some more thoughts, K-Bird. Let's go right at you. And what is it you want to tell me next?
Well, I wanted to talk about the interview that I had with Ed Morrissey. I got on the internet after he posted that video, and all the people were saying how I didn't have respect for the guys that were wearing suits and stuff, and I totally thought that was so absurd because it's not. I wasn't trying to offend anyone by saying that, but it seems like you said, that in order to be conservative, you have to wear suits and ties, and you have to be boring, and you can't say stuff like gnarly and homey. You have to be like this serious person all the time, and you just can't. That's why I think more people lean towards liberal, because they look like they're having more fun. Because being a conservative, you have to follow all these rules, and it just makes you boring.
Exactly. You're completely right on that. You can have a life, and you can have fun. Because Jesus Christ, in the Word, it says, "I've come so that you may have life and have it more abundantly." And having a relationship with God and being a conservative are hand in hand, because it is a better life. You get rid of all this junk in your life that you don't need, and being a conservative is not just about just saving money. It's about values with your family, your friends, your responsibility with how you spend your money and your time and everything. And talking to K-Bird here on the phone. Yes, she's young. She's 16. She's in high school. I said on the break, she's fresh, and what I mean by that is she's just starting to learn this stuff. She's pretty good in her Christian walk. She's got college to look forward to, and eventually to get married and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with starting out now, because in 2 years from now she can vote.
Mm-hmm.
And if she doesn't understand this before she's 18, what's she gonna do? Not vote, most likely.
Exactly. I know a lot of people are graduating this year and have already turned 18, and they don't really know much about politics, and I would still not know anything about politics if it wasn't for BMX Radio, because before I started listening to that, I didn't even know who any of the senators were, or what health care we had, they just make it interesting, and I think that's why there's not a lot of conservatives left, and why the movement has just, like we said, disappeared, because there's nothing interesting left, and there's nothing hardcore left. But hopefully that extreme stuff will start to come back, and we'll get more people on our side.
Exactly. It comes to the point where people need to realize that the future, these generations, or as like Don Harry's talking about, the pop culture, the mainstream media, everything, MTV, is taking over the world. Viacom owns so much. From Nickelodeon all the way up to MTV and more. And people are being raised on TV and movies, and then they're using all sorts of other stuff. It's getting crazy. I don't get why people don't just wake up and understand that. Yeah, go ahead, Cameron.
Okay, sorry. We had people come down there to the registration table, and they're like, "What is this all about?" And we had more people come down there and just ask us questions, and they ended up coming back and signing up, because, wow, this just seems more interesting. Not that, I'm not trying to down or diss the people that were at CPAC or the speakers that were there, because some of my favorite people were there, like Glenn Beck and Coulter, and they're very interesting people, and they're very extreme, and I think they're awesome, but I think XPAC is where it's at if you're looking for something where you can be more laid back, and you don't have to wear, uncomfortable clothes all day. You can hang out with your friends and have a good time, be loud, and you don't have to sit there for 2 hours and listen to the same people talk about stuff you have no idea what they're talking about. I think that's the good thing about XPAC, is because
Exactly. You know, the future for the political spectrum has changed. You know, as mainstream media has taken over, and you know, I'm thinking like 1950s. You know, I want to go check that because they're not the same time. You weren't allowed to dance and different things like that, and the one thing that has not changed throughout the annals of history is the view of how politics and policy are run. It comes to the point where, you know, everyone wants to have the whole pomp and circumstance. Let's wear the suit and tie. Let's go to the gala. You know, show up in the limousine. This person's going to speak. It's going to cost $10,000, $100,000. The entourage shows up. It's not like that anymore. If you want to reach the average American, and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States clearly states it's for the people, by the people. And if you are always on a pedestal where you're unreachable, and I'm talking to you sitting in your office in Washington, D.C., or in your state as a governor, as you listen to this show tonight, if you're unreachable today to someone my age, and if K-Bird can't walk up to you and talk to you, and you have a communication, a conversation together, and a dialogue, that's exactly.
Kevin and Steven, because, yeah, they're busy guys. I mean, they were running around like crazy people all during XPAC, but they would still stop and talk to everybody that tried to talk to them. And I think that's the difference between somebody like them and somebody like Glenn Beck or O'Reilly. And I understand that they're more popular and more people know about them, but if you lose the connection between your fans and your people who want to have a serious conversation with you, then, I mean, how are you going to get them to listen to you if you can't even talk to them for like 2 minutes?
Exactly. You know, I've ran into a few people when I was in Texas, and the only way they were communicating to you was there was an honor roll student that wanted to go to West Point, and it had to be the teacher and the superintendent. He only shook her hand and gave a business card. Another experience. When I was in the Coast Guard, I was running security for the Relay for Life event. And I was second in charge. I actually ran the whole evening for the 12 hours from 7 to 7 a.m. in the freezing cold. The mayor of Petaluma showed up. And I kid you not, he was like, I'm here to, and he shows up in his unmarked car, of course. And he's like, the first thing he does is shake my hand. And you know, it's a strong shake. Guess what was in his hand? His business card.
Wow.
He said, I'm here to pick up my daughter. That was the only thing that was said. I radioed everybody, and all he did was he handed out 6 business cards, shook their hand firmly, and that was it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think you have to be more personal with people if you want to have some kind of relationship. But you can't just get up on your stage or get on your TV show and expect people to be like, oh, well, this guy's cool, or this guy sounds not. I mean, you can't really know a person until you like have a serious conversation with them, and you find out that they're actually genuine and what's about. Because, you know, I noticed when I went downstairs to watch or listen to Kevin's show in the morning, how he just seems so real, and how all the other guys around him doing their radio shows, they just seem so fake. They have these fake smiles on and these fake handshakes whenever the people come up to them to have an interview, and it just seems so stupid. And Kevin, like, people would come up to him, and he would be genuine in his smile and nice to meet you, and would try to have a conversation with them. These other people, all they did was swap business cards, and that was it.
All right, K-Bird, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to return with more with K-Bird, more from XPAC.